Hola, hola, mis amores. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for joining me. I'm actually going live both on Instagram and Facebook right now, so wish me luck. I thought, you know what, this is good information for my Instagram people, for my Facebook people, so might as well be as broadcasted as possible. Okay? Let me know if you could hear me. Oh crap, my mic was all the way over here. Let me know if you could hear me. If you can't, let me know in the comments. People, it is Tuesday, 11 here in Colombia. So I wanted to come on here because I promised you guys I was going to be live every day for the next 7 days, because I think that right now what life is asking out of me is to take a pause, to take a break, and reflect and share with you about my journey. Because so many of you are so a part of my growth, are so a part of seeing my evolution, but I always want to make sure that you guys get to see the whole vision of what it looked like to get to this place, to get to this place where I could actually be in peace, be in abundance, be in transformation, be in alignment with myself. And so today I want to just take a pause because you know what? Earlier, I'm very connected to angels. Like, I follow my angel numbers. I have angel cards recently that I just purchased. And ultimately, I'm really connected to my angels, and I use them as a guide in my life to lead me into myself. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I think it's important that, you know, we all create ritual around how to connect to ourselves, how to have those internal conversations with ourselves. Now, the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today, sorry, I'm like hot and nervous at the same time. Um, the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today was what does healing have to do with building your business? You know, I started my building business journey 4 years ago in 2017 when I was at the rock bottom of my life. I was a new mom. I totally was so lost. I had postpartum depression. I felt really lost. I did not want to leave my daughter in a daycare where I couldn't afford to pay for daycare, and yet I had to go to work to afford the daycare, which would again leave me broke. And it just felt like so contradicting. I'm like, how can I live in this world where I am a mom and I want to be a mom, but I'm not supported in being a mom? Does that make sense? It took me a long time to start to realize what was going on. I realized that I was existing in a system that did not support who I am, did not support my goals, it did not support my dreams. And you know what? I didn't even know what my dreams or goal were. So why do I want to talk to you about healing? Because healing has been a major reason that I've become an entrepreneur. Healing has been the thing that has helped me connect with myself, that has allowed me to know who I am, who I want to serve, how to have more confidence, how to accept more abundance, stand in more goodness, how to do all those things that if I just started a business without learning about myself, I would have felt so lost. And this seems to happen a lot. Tell me in the comments, let me know if you felt lost, because I did. I felt really lost for a while, and I figured that I kept following everybody's best strategy for me. I kept thinking that somehow someone was going to give me the secret sauce for me to know what business I wanted to start, to know who I wanted to become, how I wanted my life to look like. And boy, was I wrong. I was wrong. Wrong to say the least, okay? And why am I sharing this with you guys? Because so often we're pushing ourselves to learn, to know the next thing, to read more books, to acquire more knowledge, go back to school, educate yourself, do. And we never take the time to know who we are. We never take the time to go into our internal world and say, what does Gisela want? What do I want for myself? What do I desire? How do I envision my life? And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because I'm coming to this new place in my life where the universe, God, is asking me to hold a new, bigger vision, a new, more delicious vision for my business. I am in the process of becoming a published author. I am in the process of, I've been coaching clients for the past 4 years. And it's a consummation of knowing my genius, knowing my expertise, of trial and error, of learning as I go, of creating, of igniting people's fires from within and helping them go off into the world and become even a better, brighter version of themselves. Hey, thanks for joining. I'm live both on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm double duty, double doing right now. I don't know if that's the right word. But what I wanted to say to you guys today is, as I'm holding this new vision, I want you to understand the power that healing had in this. In order for me to hold a new vision for myself, I had to have been healing enough, or in my process of healing, to know what that kind of looked like, what that could have been shaped into, what that might have been like. You know, once I knew, you know what's so funny? All this unconformity in my life came to me when I realized, first of all, how unhappy I was in motherhood, because I'm like, it is not what they tell you it is. It is not buying more things for your kids. It's not working more hard for them. It's not sacrificing your peace for them. It's not that. So what is it? And then the second thing that ruffled my feathers during that time, that I was like, there is something, either I'm wrong or the world is wrong. And that was my sexuality. I felt like I couldn't express myself sexually. I felt like I had so much more to explore, and I had so much shame around liking women, liking men, what I wanted, what I didn't want in my life. And why I'm sharing this with you guys is because the way I became an entrepreneur wasn't because I knew. I woke up and I'm like, I'm a business owner. I know I want to be an entrepreneur. No, actually, I just felt deeply at odds with myself. I felt deeply unconformed with how my life was turning out. I felt deeply lost, and like I didn't know where I was going, and I had this other little human that was going to depend on me for answers that I didn't have. And so as I started to get to know myself, I discovered that I did not fit in any box. I was not meant to be in a box. That this idea of becoming an entrepreneur did not spring up on me because I'm like, I woke up and I wanted to start a business. No, it's because I realized that I was not meant to be put in a box. I was meant to create. I was meant to create the job that I wanted for myself, where all parts of me fit. How did I get to know those parts? Through healing. There's so many modalities out there, guys, to get to know yourself. And it's not just taking a yoga class. It's not just once in a blue moon meditating. It is every day making a habit of going inward, of going into yourself and exploring the galaxies within you that are dying to be explored, that are like worlds and worlds and worlds that exist inside of you. And it's a beautiful place to be. Now, you know, I'm doing this kind of showing up for you guys, very heart-centered, very much of, I don't exactly know what I'm going to say. I let the information come to me as I'm speaking. And I really want you guys to take away from today is, you have to learn that you can exist outside of a box. You know, like I said, I did not start this because I knew I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I just had little visions of what I wanted my life to look like as I started to heal, as I started to make my way through the healing process, as I started to get to know myself. That's why a lot of entrepreneur and new business owners feel so disconnected, because they are not knowing how to charge. They feel like they are imposters. They don't understand how to be confident and how to be an embodiment of that. But how can we be confident when we don't know ourselves? How can we be confident when we don't know who we are, right? So part of the business, building a business, if you want to build something that's authentic, if you don't want to have competition, if you want to feel like you are the only one in the market that can offer what you offer, well then, baby, you got to step into your originality. You got to step into your wholeness. You got to step into all of who you are. And a lot of us are afraid of this because we're afraid to shed light on the darkest parts of our soul. And that is what I've been focusing on my life work around is, how do I grow? Through shedding light on the darkest parts of my soul, of not being afraid to go there, to the places that scare me, to the places that I feel the pain may be too much. No, I've learned to navigate through those waters, and I continue to, as I continue to grow and evolve. Now, I've held a vision. As I gotten to know myself, I realized that how I work is that I have the tools inside me to create what I want to create. And most of us do. All of us do, actually. But we just got to be aware enough and take all the garbage that's been given to us through society, through our parents, through our fears and beliefs that were indoctrinated in us, that were not in us by nature. We weren't born that way. We weren't born with shame and fear and all that stuff. It's become a part of us. But once we can get rid of all that garbage that comes through into our psyche and into our wholeness and connect back to who we truly are, damn, we're powerful. We are so powerful. And I held the vision that I was going to have a beautiful co-parenting relationship with my ex, even though we were in the midst of a very ugly, ugly court custody battle. I held that. I believed it. I believed that I could have that. But I had to believe it before I could have it. I believed that I would be living in a hot, beautiful country full of mountains and nature and delicious fresh fruits. And I had to believe I was going to have that before I did have it. But how did I get to that? I had to know who I was. I had to understand, at least to some extent, what I wanted. I had to have an inkling in order to get there. And that's what I want for all of you. I want you guys to follow your inner inkling, that thing that comes through that sometimes you try to shut down, right? And, I held this vision of moving abroad. I held this vision of coaching women. And it wasn't always clear. I was not always clear of how I was going to help them. Sorry, I have a call coming through. How I was going to help them, how it was all going to work out. But I just knew in my heart that I needed to take the first step forward. So my new vision, guys, is that this year I'm going to be hosting my first ever mastermind with 10 women. And I'm holding this vision because I've only done one-on-one coaching so far. I've never done group coaching. I've done personalized coaching because that's how I've gotten to know my craft. That's how I've gotten to know who I want to serve, what works, what doesn't work, what ignites me. And this year, I'm holding a bigger vision for my mastermind. 10 powerful women who are ready to connect deep into themselves, to build a business from the depths of their soul, who are here to live their life purpose. And that is the vision I'm holding for myself this year. I hope you can see the power that it is to heal and build a business at the same time. Anyway, guys, that is all for today. I have my coaching call client coming through, so I will see you tomorrow, and we will chat up here again. Sending you love. Ciao, amores.